Same here.
Yeah, probably use Right. Call meeting order, please rise.
To the flag. To the republic, which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Moment of silence for past members of the fire district. Thank you. Okay. Roll call, please.
I, Rich,
Here.
John,
Here.
Ryan, here.
Does the record show that Dan currently had a work commitment? All right, we'll open up the public session for agenda items only. Anybody wishing to speak with regard to anything that's on the agenda? Hearing and seeing none, we will move on. District building report, the WFD upgrade. Joe, Brian, anybody?
Just a few things. We have a few repairs in house here that we're taking care of ourselves. And we also said, I think stay over there long until because whatever we did, I'm sure files will report on it.
Brian.
No.
All right, we'll move into president's report. Let's see, DFD president, Jason's here.
Those members of the month, just thank you for letting us use the fire department.
Anything else? WFD president's report, Jay.
So you got the guys. I'll hear about that in the meeting. Sure.
Remember what you said about it. It really went well. It was your idea, but it didn't go so well. It was Speaking of which, here it is.
So we submitted, actually 10 building.
Yeah, I can still hear a little bit.
Original copies for Bob and one last minute one. But in that last one, if you guys have distributed the one for Casey Bell. Appreciate that one. We had 9 new members voted in February. Yes. Wilson, this is basically the auxiliary that disbanded during the social league. So now support our thank you to the district for requesting the letter in front of the building. Very nice. We like the way it looks. We put straight time. We got some price. What that concept is going to be. That's for the executive office. The president, vice president, give us some more room. The cost is between 16 and
Terry.
Terry.
Oh, Terry.
Yeah, hello.
Hey, Terry, can you mute?
Oh, we see you offering to pay for the desk.
Okay, he's muted.
I heard that, Jay, I heard that.
You offer to pay for the desk, I think that's. So we have the additional, it's a blue cabinet, same cabinet that was here when the pictures were here. And before we scrapped it or get rid of it, we can't use it, we didn't know what to do. It's a lateral cabinet, same exact one you guys have in your current meeting room. Blue, like a dark blue. So we don't need it, we're trying to put everything on the computer, which is our goal. So we don't need that, but if you guys want it, because, if possible, we'd like to, because we could, if you want to take a look at the executive office, we put the two desks in the middle of the room. So there's no Ethernet cable there. We can run over the ceiling and drop it down, but I want to make it look nice for the phone. And then there's no power there. We have a lead cord run across the floor to put power to our laptops on that desk. So there's a possibility of getting an outlet put in, maybe a Cat5 cable run somewhere so we can plug the phone in. We appreciate that that's proper with the district. Fundraising events. We are doing 4 fundraising events for the Grey Ghost repair, trying to recoup the money we spent on that. And additional items we got to fix up on the Grey Ghost. And then 6 in-house with our own people, the fish fry dinner raising events, all the dates are there. Well, the new kitchen equipment and some small stuff we've been purchasing to restock our kitchens. These events are also going to interact with the public and gain interest in new members. And the last thing, the 911 lighting project is still in progress, and I think that's going to be another project we'll probably finish up in the spring. That's all I got. Unless any questions from you?
Any questions for Brother? All right, moving on, then we will take up the actions on the building use, facility use forms, and that's something we'll do that under business. Let's see, prior month's minutes. Got an organizational meeting from 1/5. Right? No. Yeah. We had a chance to read it over. So we want to make a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Brian makes a motion. Seconded by Bob. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Carries. We've got a business meeting on the 5th. Those minutes were also distributed and for review. Motion. Brian makes a motion to approve. Second by John. Any discussion on them? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? That also passes. And we had a workshop meeting on the 28th, which was the meeting that we dealt with LoSAP and a couple other items that we took care of that night. Did that look in order to anybody? Make a motion. Motion made by John. Second by Bob. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposition? You've got 3 sets of minutes that you can call set.
Yeah.
Your treasurer report, please.
Here come the bank reconciliations, all 3 accounts for you to review and sign off on. Also, if you could, just remember, when you're going through and signing off on the invoices, the very beginning of the invoices is a copy of the official bank statements that are received by mail if obvious. So you have to sign off on it. There were a couple months where they weren't signed off and whatever. Yeah, I'll sign off on it.
Want to know?
Okay.
No, I did. I know. Those are the ones we.
Yeah, so just in that binder, because of the. All right, so the money market account has a reconciled balance of $1,046,961. Earning interest of $1,235. I'm working with, negotiating with Don, trying to improve our rates. We're up near 4%, and I'm down quite a bit. Otherwise, we might be going to the state controller's office. All right, so so the money market has a $1,046,961 balance. The WFP Capital Projects Fund has a $157,334 balance, or $185 of interest for the month. And the checking account has the $202,222 balance, earning $289 in interest for the month. Supporting documentations for this report are for the bank reconciliation and the bank statements for January 31st. And the final page is the printout of the check register. All the payments that were approved last month and that were paid, the dollar amount, check number. In addition to that, we received the check from the town. It was on Thursday, depositing those funds already at the Bank of Green County, the same day I received that check. And then because of my delay coming back from Florida, the scheduled appointment with the CPAs were pushed back, so they were here this weekend. We're over at the DFD or in GFD offices, working on the audit, and everything seemed to go pretty good. They left without needing anything from me, so that was kind of the first. Well, there were 3 of them this time. Last time usually there's only 2 of them, so it's the extra to help. So otherwise, that concludes my report.
Any questions for the treasurer? Is there a resolution to approve the treasurer's report? Seconded. Any discussion?
2 seconds.
John. Roll call vote, please.
Brian. Aye. John.
Aye.
Rich.
Aye.
Bob.
Aye. And that carried. All right, let's see. Approval of the current month's invoices. Who was the lucky one that got them early and read them?
No, that would be me. Basically, there is an addition right now to $393,000 in bills. Another $45 is about here, so for the bank will reimburse for wine skill. So it'll be $393,850 plus $4,500.
398, 350 and 56 cents.
Well, it says $393,850 plus $4,500. That's, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, 398, 350,
398.
yeah, and 56 cents.
And there is one board member who has a reimbursement here, so.
Yeah, so we'll have to approve them in their separate votes. Nothing jumps out though.
No, I mean, the biggest hit is the low separate bill for $245,000. Plus the major insurance for $61,000. That's the majority of it. Everything else is just normal business.
I would consider that a motion or a resolution to approve all the bills with the exception of the reimbursement for cell phone or Robert Miller.
I'll make that resolution.
Resolution made. Resolution seconded. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Brian.
Aye.
John.
Aye.
Rich. Aye. Bob.
So you have to. Oh, yeah, you can. Yeah, so I got them backwards in my head already. All right, that one passed. Consider a resolution then to pay Robert Miller $660 for his cell phone reimbursement. Okay, that resolution made by John, seconded by Brian. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Brian. Aye. John.
Aye.
Rich. Aye. Bob. Abstain.
That one passes. So we got through the bills, with only my mistake. Let's see. Correspondence. Move into that, please.
Oh, yes. Correspondence, we have the M&T Bank collateral statements for both December 2025 and January 2026. We received a reimbursement check from Wyanska Fire Department for Eclipse and email services for Q4. There's a listing of new building permits from the town for 2025. Association of Fire Districts, State of New York Fire District Affairs newsletter. A DFD reimbursement check for the Eclipse Q3 and Q4. There's a VFIS claim check for the 2018 Ford Explorer for damages there. The Capital Area Fire Districts Association Commissioner Training announcement. The FASNY Recruit New York announcement and a resignation letter from a district employee was received.
The only comment I have on any of them, Mike, is can you guys please make sure that the listing of the building permits gets out to the district chiefs?
Yep.
After the chiefs, because I think it's important that they see what is or isn't on there that might have escaped their purview during the course of the last year. We might want to keep an eye on, or take a look at.
Okay, will do.
Any other comments with regard to received correspondence? All right, on to sent correspondence.
Second correspondence was the Quackenbury Commons letter to the planning board from the fire district.
Old business. First thing on old business is the member survey follow-up. That was your project that, I guess you kind of stalled while you went away on a little bit of a earned vacation.
Yeah, we're gonna, probably do it to start out with just wine and skill. And I will handle all this, so we don't burden the chief with any of the responses. So see how that goes, and then
Go from there.
we move on to Freesville. We need to make any tweaks to it, we don't.
Roll it from there. All right, that works. Saxton sign proposal, WFD sign relocation. I don't remember where
That was the concept of the island I talked about waiting up till the spring.
Okay, so we're just gonna hold up, we're
Yeah,
holding
we
up
don't
till
want to
spring,
put
or
Bobby
did
in
you have
trouble.
something on that?
No, this is something totally
Oh, sorry.
different. This is, yeah, you're talking about something different than what this is.
Okay,
This is a proposal that if the board chooses to move ahead with raising the garage door, okay, the LED lettering will have to get moved up. So that's what this proposal is. We put just a kind of a price in there when I gave you pricing back in December for this, indicating that we were gonna have to get Saxon to come here to actually do a site evaluation. That's what they did last month. And they provided a proposal because the way the fascia mansard is, you have now 50-ish holes in there because of all the wires going in. So what they're proposing is that it would be built like in a pan, okay? The Wynnesville Fire Department would be put on placards, okay? And then mounted all up there as one.
to cover all the holes.
Cover all the holes. And what could happen is, instead of it being that darker color, it could be sort of a, the letters would be the white, okay, color. And the background could be kind of similar to what the brick is below. And the reason for that is now that that lettering is going to stand out probably 50% better than it does right now. Right now, it gets sucked up in the corrugated fascia, and the fact that it's dark bronze sucks up the LED light. So $12,085. If you choose to go with raising the overhead door, this would be all part of that proposal.
This would be all part of that.
Meaning, if you raise the overhead door, this lettering has to get moved up.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. All right.
Right.
When you said it, I thought you meant that whoever bid raising the door.
No, this is, we would work with, I'm just saying, we have an accurate price. Now, if you
Okay.
decide to do it 6 months down the road, this price will go up, okay? I'm just saying. What? No.
Right, the raising of the door is actually old business, so I'm not listed here on old business. We've talked about it a number of times now. Where are we? What are we doing with that? What's the thoughts? We want to move forward with it now, or we want to wait? Do we want, my 2 cents is, I've been involved, I've missed a couple truck committee meetings, but not many truck workers committee. And, given the likings of the committee on what they're looking for in apparatus, I don't see us buying a truck that's gonna fit this building without raising that door. As much as I still have a degree of reluctance in me to do that, but I don't see an alternative. But what everybody else's thoughts are, and where are we as far as having a proposal to actually do that?
I mean, I think you have to figure out, no matter what, everything the apparatus committee gave us didn't fit, regardless of that, put that part aside. We know it's probably gonna raise the door. We also need to know the cost. because that's gonna affect the budgeting for the truck. That's something important to remember here. But that kind of comes into play here. So, I think we had a kind of quasi quote from you
No,
last year.
we have solid quotes
I don't know if they're
for
still good
everything.
this year, but
So they're, you know, they're not
Yeah.
that old. Obviously, this is the most recent quote. Matson overhead doors. This quote was in November. So again, you could consider it's gonna go up. That quote was $13,614. And then Wayne Shaft, the quote was $15,656 for, again, 3 contractors, $41,355. There are going to be other electrical needs there. This doesn't consider any of the AC electrical. Saxton will take care of all of the low voltage for the LED sign, but we will have to get Dynamic in here to do electrical, and that's probably going to be, for $5,000 worth of electrical. We're not going to get a quote from them because,
Don't know what
right,
so you,
right. So we're looking at probably with escalation, probably right now, $50,000.
So are we in a position? We need to go to bid on this, or?
No. Because there's like 3 separate contracts here, Terry. Correct me if I'm wrong, we spoke about this before.
Yeah, you don't have to go to bid on it, with the cost under 35,000.
How do you want to proceed, gentlemen?
I'd like to just ask the Finance Committee chiefs and the president, if they have any input or any discussion on that.
I haven't heard anything else.
I mean, no matter where you look at it, where you're going with truck design, it's gonna have to be done. Because of this. Unless you want to start over now, throw in another truck. Big one.
I mean,
I said last year, that we done some.
Do you want to make a motion?
Well, is gonna need to be a permissive referendum because we're gonna be taking this money out of the building fund, correct, Terry? Permissive referendum?
That is correct. But, I mean, you ordered a truck tonight, you're not gonna get it for 3 years. I mean, there's no necessarily any exigency to this unless you want to get the construction done before you go forward with the truck.
He basically said that, I mean, the truck's not gonna, even if you ordered it today, the truck's not gonna be here for 2-3 years. So you don't have to do this tonight. You don't have to do it. I mean, if you would like, I could go back out to Wayne Shaft and Matson and basically say, okay, we want to sharpen the pencil. We want to see exactly the cost. Right. Yep.
Become more comfortable.
Nobody told me to put the final proposal together
No,
here, so I got what I was told to do with this.
That's fine.
We have that. And we can move on to the
Then
next
we'll
phase.
authorize Bob to go put the final package together for consideration at the March meeting. Then. How's that sound? We don't need a vote to do that.
But it will be a permissive referendum.
Okay, good. Now, new business. Anything under new business? Anything we needed to consider? Hearing none, recalling none. We move on. Chief's reports, the regional chief. He got back to us. See Dan, so Greg.
Yes, you guys know report. Ain't did the same thing. I thought he was gonna be here, but the only thing I'll report is, a couple months ago, I spoke, I called Vandermolen about coming to take a look at 9/7. There's, some oxidation rust occurring to one of the doors on the cab of the truck. Representative came today. He's taking it back. He's gonna write up a report and forward that to us, tell us what's covered under warranty. He indicated that it's a, they got talked to the factory, but for the most part, it should be covered, but there could be costs because of the way the warranty is spelled out. I haven't looked at the warranty yet. I plan to over the next few days, and we'll know. We'll let you know.
Very good. Again, I don't have my computer on. We don't have any statistical reports because the system is still not giving them to us, or
What system?
the alarm statistical.
No, we had a few issues going from nippers to nears that we thought we were gonna have, and we did, and so we weren't able to print the reports.
Okay, so we're working the bug, for the first month, we're working the bugs out.
We'll have it soon.
That's fine. As long as we have it on a record. I just don't want anybody screaming that they didn't get to see their first month LoSAP because we're in the middle of a conversion to a new system. All right, why don't you go chief's report?
Evening, welcome.
There you are.
The code persons were submitted. Our last meeting, we're going to be participating in the Albany St. Patrick's Day Parade on March 14th. Three safety officers were established and appointed this past month. The two solar farms that we have growing in our town, 391 Winter Street and 200 Community Lane, had the county give them a business location, so we kind of knew where we were going and give kind of a heads up. So the 391 Winter Street extension will be named Winter Street Solar Farm, and the 200 Street Lane will be known as the Streamview Solar Farm. This is a pre-planned thing, so we have an idea when those addresses pop up, so we're going to line. Also, location of a geofence on the iron responding, which has the property information, contact information, and some information on solar field safety. Miraculously, this morning, Vericom called me and came over right away and worked on the speakers. Hi, Bob. I talked to Jeff and Premier today. They're just waiting on the new emergency light bar and the 4-body LED scene lights. That's all you around. We'll find out today, or probably talk to them today about a delivery window. Everything else is already there. So as soon as he hears from that, he'll get back to me. We'll schedule a pre-con meeting. I talked to Lieutenant Rose about getting some in-house stuff done ahead of time. So when that leaves, it's ready. I also talked to Jeff Premier about the control box for truck 42. They replaced the cord and then realized the pins were bad in the cord for the cord box, which they thought it came from a tractor pin for a motor tractor, right? Which that wasn't the case, so they're still searching to fix that. R3 was dropped off at fairs to start the body work this week. PMs are scheduled for the apparatus. The rescue truck will be done during a rehab project. 427 will be done April 20th. We'll be going to April 20th. And the truck 42 will go Jones first, and the two smaller apparatus will go in September and October. And rescue tool service is scheduled for Friday the 13th at 8 a.m. here. And that's all I got.
All right. Any questions for either of the chiefs at this point? No. We'll move on.
You have purchases.
Oh, what's that? You want to take the purchase down? All right.
Mhm.
Let's see. For purchases for the Freesville, we've got the fourth quarter duty crew paraphernalia order. It's broken down pretty comprehensively between Wicked Smart, Fire Store, JP Leather, and
Crest Nest.
what is it?
Crest Nest.
Crest Nest, whatever that is. Okay, it went out, a company I'm not familiar with. We've broken down pretty comprehensively. I think everybody's had a chance to look it over. And then from Wine and Skill, the list is in the chief's report. Let's see, they got the cribbing straps, helmets, helmet fronts, boots, air power boots and fire boots, two different style boots. 6/8 safety vests, safety officer vests, and Minor 6 chargers, 5 Minor 6 chargers. For the grand total of $6,090.22. Consider a resolution to spend that, make that expenditure.
Make a resolution.
Brian makes the resolution. Bob seconds it. Any discussion on that? Roll call vote, please.
Right, John,
Aye.
Rich,
Aye.
Bob,
Aye. That passes. Discuss the money. We're gonna go back and do building use forms at some point. We'll get time to do it. Where am I here?
Apparatus.
Yeah, I put the paper away wrong. Couldn't find my paper. All right, apparatus committees, let's see, go ahead and start with the truck board group. Maybe Bob, talk about that, no?
We got the specs back from Rosenbauer for the King Cobra. Going here, there's a fun around. The truck committee went through the 252 pages of the spec painfully. And we come up with probably 60 some items that we had questions or concerns about. And I sent that off to them. They will be showing up Wednesday night to address all those issues and talk to us. He looked at it real quick. He didn't see anything major or struggling about it. The spec that we had some things in it that we don't need. We're probably going to be war someplace between there and what we might want to add. But their price came back at $2,266,382. And in that, there's $93,581 put in there for potential tariff impact. If they don't spend that, or it doesn't do that, that's our money to take back. So
Unlike some of the other manufacturers who are saying that they're going to add it on later, these guys have said, we're adding it on and we'll take it back if we don't. So, okay.
Or the other way.
Huh?
Or the other way.
and more. Yeah, but they said that they felt that was more than, I think, isn't the correct way they put it there?
Yeah, no, I just want to make sure.
Yeah, I mean, at least these guys give us some more where they thought it was. They already put it in that price. It's not gonna, oh my God, what's going on? So, I don't know if anybody has any questions on that or whatever. On Wednesday night, we'll be meeting with the vendor. Everybody's welcome to show up if they want.
Oh, no, I mean, it sounds like we're kind of progressing a little bit. Like this, the apparatus committee wants to go. I mean, I'm naive to some of the source stuff, so some of the stuff I did refer to Terry on. Like 97427, we had to get like notes and, we kind of talked about before the meeting a little bit. What did the other vendors propose? We had, short due diligence that we actually had other vendors, so to speak. This is source, but there might be certain requirements that Terry can speak to.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the truck committee does a lot of heavy lifting, but the decision has to come from the board, and the board's got to be fully apprised of, what is one, I'm not going, what is, what the truck committee's recommendation is, what they've looked at, other, options for similar vehicles, or basically what they've ruled out. And then if you're going through a consortium, you need to basically pass a resolution that shows that you've done your due diligence and this is the best value for the fire district. So there's a little bit more, I think, that the board has to do than just accept a recommendation from the truck committee. I think the board is going to be required to show that they've actually, looked into this with some level of scrutiny. So.
Yeah, I just remember some stuff when we did 97427. It seemed like there's a lot of
we did
documentation, for lack of a better term.
What we did when the board decided to go to Sourcewell, we kind of did like an executive summary. The board did, an executive summary based on the fact of why it was in the best interest at that time to go to Sourcewell. And I would just also request that if you have like these specs and then you sent the counter to Rosenbauer to clarification, if we can get that in the office so we can record that, because we don't have anything. So we should get copies of that. If you have it electronic, send it to us so we can record it as part of the minutes.
I got it written, but I can send it to you. I can send you the bid specs.
Well, whatever you're getting, because we keep a file in the district for any active committee that's going on. It just make it easier if we need to refer back to it for something, we have our fingertips on it.
Get the electronic one that you distributed to the committee and then a copy of this electronically, because this references.
Right.
Yeah.
That directly. All right, so we're making progress there. The Rescue 9 committee is also making progress. I've only had the one date with them so far as I went out to the West Sand Lake to look at their rescue, and I reported on that last month. I know that the Rescue 9 committee attended the fire show down in Long Island. Jeff, you want to report on that or any of the other progress at this point?
The show was a little smaller than anticipated, I thought, but we did come back with some options and ideas that we didn't like on apparatus that are currently being sold. So we're still in search of visiting other locations, going to other shows, and work is in progress.
Okay. So we continue on that. Let's see, moving on down. Building your grounds, down Northport. It's covered with snow, right?
That's it.
District personnel, Dan is not here. Brian, you wanna?
We do have a need for executive session to discuss the employment of the district employee.
Okay, so we do the executive session tonight.
We need Chief Wilson for that.
Lucky him. Did he hear you?
He's on here. So,
You just said that.
We'll make him feel
Give
good.
him a
when he-
surprise when he comes back.
We'll make him feel good when he comes back.
Pay him extra overtime.
Finance and insurance. Brian?
Basically, we had the 3 workshops. I think we got to do some research, I guess, as far as, probably not ready to make any move this month, obviously. Some of the stuff from Firefly was pretty eye-opening. You get into the whole annuities, how many members, we have annuities versus, we do not have annuities. I don't think we're ready to make a decision on anything yet, but no, we gotta get some more facts, I guess. The interim, maybe by March, the March meeting, we can kind of start figuring out what route to go. One of the things that did come up, getting feedback from other members, I know we were looking at the DB, like if you're to get your money, keep it, we're not touching it. There's concern for a certain group where we haven't had the same advantage to invest as, like, say, like if you're a 20-year-old who comes into possibly make that more optimal. So there's some play of how to maybe some fully funded thing. When we did make the motion, we did move the money to the higher rate. So that should hopefully help our funding. But yeah, basically nothing.
So am I recalling that you were also there to do some research on this stuff related to this?
I'm supposed to compile the options,
Oh, okay.
various plans.
You have enough time.
I know I'm chatting instead of, I don't understand, which is,
Okay.
but anyhow, on here, they're just, like, absolutely. There's this Hartford, GAC versus National Life. So what had happened is we moved the money in our benefit program, we moved one of the investment firm to another one. They locked us in at a much greater return, 10 years for locked. And we were just kind of forced into that decision because our actuarial evaluation that's come each year that determines how much we have to contribute each year has been estimated based upon a higher rate of return than we can get. So if we didn't make this move, then the amount we have to contribute each year is going to go up substantially. So it probably could be close to the 300,000 rather than the 200,000. So we did that for us. Also, the LoSAP committee conducted their census, and the results of the census, I emailed the memo just a while ago, even if I got the numbers. 66 total, 66 firefighters made it. 38 from WFD, 28 from DFD. Therefore, the breakdown is we got 2% funding, 57.6% will go to one skill, 42.4% will go to DFD. Letter also says that I will sending out letters for 1 and 2 year termination letters. And sending the rest of the ones, so there.
It's attached.
Yeah. So that is, that's one item we need approval on, that memo. So then that'll give, either Brian or Dan authorization to sign. And then, the one other thing that we discussed at the last workshop meeting was removing Dan from the, contact designation form and adding, Brian to that. Brian Burke. Okay, so we'll need a motion just to change the form, and I'll send that to the files. That was all I had.
We want to take care of that now? You want to
For that, we also did the letter. Make a motion for that letter. We've got in the letter. Your letter, you sent the memo. We got.
Yeah, approve the letter and you guys,
And the
you guys
change, the name.
sign the thing, and then, the name.
So you get two motions.
All right, so we have two motions.
So make a motion to approve this authorized signature.
Motion made by Brian. I'll second it. Seconded by Bob. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? That carries. Now we need a motion to jump to my notes. What was the second motion?
Change the name
Census
from Dan
letter?
and myself.
Oh, yeah, change the name on the song. John makes a motion. John makes a motion. Bob seconds it. Any discussion now? All in favor? Aye. Any opposition? That carries. Administrative stuff. Good stuff.
I got a question for Brian.
Yes.
Yeah, do we, I think in order to move forward with anything, to, considering if there's gonna be any change to the existing plan, I think there has to be an actuarial assessment or analysis done of what the actuarial present value is of all of the current participants, because that was the great unknown when it was being discussed. So I mean, I don't know if I'm pushing this too hard right now, but I think the board needs to consider that a huge stumbling block in making any determination going forward on LoSAP is you need to know what what each member is entitled to now, both, and I think both at the 89% funding rate and if you did 100%, because that's the number that's really going to drive, I think, participant reaction to what you want to do. There may be somebody that's getting $600 a month. They did the full 30 years, but that may equate to a 40 or 50 or I don't know. I'm making this up. $60,000 check. I don't know what their actuarial present value is. And until you answer that, or until you have those numbers in front of you, you're really going to be, I think, at an impasse of going forward, making an informed presentation or informed decisions. So I think it will probably cost somewhere in the order of $3,000 or $4,000 to get that calculation done. Again, I'm making that up. It's actuarial smoke and mirrors, fun with numbers. But I think that's going to be a necessary step at some point. Whether it needs to, I don't know that it needs to be done now, but I think it's something that you have to request and look into. I regret I didn't talk with Sean ahead of time, but that's what I would have mentioned to him based upon what I took away from the January 28th meeting.
Terry? Yeah, I already spoke with Sarah at VFIS about getting that done, as well as another actuarial estimate if we were to increase the benefit from $20 to $30. So she was going to get me a quote on both of those actuarial reports, so that we could. So Dan told me to hold off until we get the quotes from Sarah on how much they think that was going to cost. Go after those two reports.
We'd have to add in for the folks that get the What's the title? Thank you. What's the title? Because that wouldn't be included in any of the FIS or planning, but,
Right. No, that's because that's Pentex.
right, we'd have to get that as a separate quote, yeah.
But anyway, so like Terry's saying, our actuarial report, they do it in the summer. So I got the one, for this year, which is an estimate, and I got that in June, but it's through June. So we need to report, as of now, how much did they accrue? And then how much are we underfunded? So then we can figure out how are we gonna meet that underfundedness, or are we just gonna go with the percentage that we have? So there's a lot of moving parts going on
If
here.
we wait till summer though, that might not give us enough time to move.
Oh, no, I know, I'm waiting on Sarah to do these quotes.
Yeah, we already started.
But Sean, can't they just take a snapshot of everyone right now and say,
Geez, you mean for what the present value is right now, or for?
correct? Because I
Yes.
think that's a number you need. I don't know that needs to be delayed, because what you're doing is picking a date.
What I was gonna do is, Anthony gave us that actuarial website. I was gonna go in there and see if I could play around and try to figure it out myself. But I said that to Sarah. Sarah says, no, quotes like that gotta go through the actuary.
Yeah, I mean, I think you need to ask BFIS, at least in the first instance, to give you a report with everybody that's a participant. And the last column is, what is the actuarial present value of their LoSAP accounts as of December 31st or March 1st or whatever. Again, there's a little bit of fluff in there because it's actuaries and you don't really know what they're doing. But I don't think anybody can accurately look at the conversion. Again, that's a snapshot, and that's a snapshot based upon what you're entitled to now. Funding it, is another question, and I guess we're under by about 11% at this point. But I think I don't think you get off square one without knowing those numbers and everybody having those numbers available.
That's why we're actually a month ahead with the approval process for the census, because they wanted the updated census so they could update the records, see who made it, so that they can have more accurate records when they do the actuarial report.
Great.
Great. Okay. Trying to, stay on top of this and get it done soon. So, yes.
Yeah, because I mean, it's not really a floating number. It's, if you say, okay, who had 50 points as of December 31st, 2025, that's the number until December 31st, 2026. Right. So, and you will know that those people will, if they're still accruing, will get a contribution. If somebody that was at, 540 will go to 560. But anyway, that's a different thing than going from 20 to 30 bucks too. So I mean, it's a completely different concept.
They wanted me to, propose all the options that are on the table. And
yeah,
$30 one was an option as well.
Yeah, no, I think it's wise to do that. It's just that every time you do that, it's going to cost money. I just wanted the board to be aware of it. I think we need that first one, regardless of the options that are considered, we need that first one to know where everybody's at so that they can have their questions answered. That's all I have to say about that.
In talking with Sarah, it was kind of like she kind of said if we're going to do the other one with the $30, we should do it together while the actuary is already working on the report. And then it wouldn't be hard for him to then go and do the $30. So we kind of merge it together and save money, like have economies of scale there. So, yeah, we got a lot of moving parts going on.
All right, so we're good on that?
Yeah.
Nobody's got any loose ends. Brian, anything else on that? No. Let's see. Long-range planning, policies and procedures. Brian, John?
Nothing on policies. Long-range planning, I'm going to wait till the dust settles when we're doing the building and the truck 4-2 replacement. Or we can sit down with the numbers. The only question I had for Sean was earlier about it. I don't know what year we marked to start replacing the Tahoes. It was this year or next year. I remember we had one, they were spaced apart 1 year apart. I can remember it was this year, and Sean's looking that up.
Yeah, you know, when you were saying this year, I was thinking.
That was in 26, 27, 27, 28.
I was 26.
So that might be due to replace one of the Tahoes this year.
Okay. Have to look at that timeline and see where it is.
Sean's digging now, but that's the only thing I got for long range planning right now.
All right, well, Sean's looking that up, business operations and technology. John? No report. Bob, any loose ends that you can think of that Dan has mentioned to you or anything? No? Okay, good. Development plan review, Brian?
Just the chief's assistants, we sent a letter over to the planning board for Quackenbury Commons, went to the planning board meeting. They weren't like real site plan drawings per se. It was more of a, how do I say, a sketch of that, but I was like, this sketch was more than a comment. We have a meeting coming up, actually, the 11th at the DFT we're hosting. It's gonna be a meeting with PD, North Commission Ambulance, Fire District, Chief Sheen will be there, Building Department, Water Department, and the town engineer, and the developer to go over district's concerns and questions, and the other responding agencies.
It's good. All right, nothing else going on, significant or important?
Nothing significant yet, just rumor stuff.
All right, recruitment or retention. Bob, you got anything? No? I've got a couple things. One, I was tasked to look into the feasibility of what it would take to get a grant writer to help us prep for both a safer grant or any of the other grants, because in many cases, the federal grants all require that the first third of the grant is basically the same baseline on information that on demographics of the community and incomes and just all kinds of information, which it may seem like routine stuff that anybody can pull that together, but if it's not presented right, the other 2/3 of the grant goes nowhere, doesn't get forwarded. So, and that one of the secrets to having a successful federal grant is to get that first third right. So I've actually done some outreach. I've talked to one grant writer, very informally, that's done some work here in the Capital District. Probably the biggest job she's done, the most successful one that I'm familiar with. We haven't gone in much detail to talk about a lot of her credentials. Is Town of Mohawk, where she's had a lot of good success in writing them a number of grants now. And then I talked to Tiger Schmittendorf, who some of you may recognize the name, and he's one of the ones that does a lot of the retention and recruitment training across the nation. He's a New York guy. And I asked him if he was doing grants, and he says he does them occasionally, but usually very, very close to home. But he's got a guy in central New York who's just fabulous, does a great job. He's been writing grants all over the state, and he's going on and on, praising this guy, and it turns out that he's a former member of the Free School. So, I'm sure we could talk to Mike Tenkate, who could sit down with us and help us come up with doing something. Yeah, he far enough. Even our president doesn't know who he was. He's retired off the Portland fire job now. He moved out to his wife took a job as in the hospital out there. They moved out that area. He got on the job in Portland. He's now retired from that. And he's doing this grant writing as his retirement gig. I think he's doing quite well with it. So we've got those two names. If anybody's aware of any others, follow my way, and we'll put together something. We can sit down with some of these people and see what they can or can't do for us, or what they can or can't recommend for us. So that's one thing under.
This is somebody that we can keep on retainer.
I would think so, because
because each one of them, the tail end of it is different.
the tail end is different. Front end is usually very similar, although the feds make subtle changes every year. You got to be right on top of.
Yeah.
Because if you submit the old information, or you submit it the old way, say, thank you for playing, move on. It's the grant game is a hard game to get into, because at this point, it takes money to, the grants are designed for fire departments that really need the grants. But the way the rules are written and the way the regulations are written, to be successful in the competitive, it's a very competitive awarding of the grants. There are actually panels that sit and judge the grants, and each gets, it's like the Olympics, all the grants get a score. And it's the high scores get the grant, the money, and the low scores don't. So it's designed, the money's designed to go to the fire departments most in need, but the fire departments that are most in need can't afford to have a grant writer give them a quality grant that's going to give them the high score. So it's a real quandary. I wrote the grant for the Freesville back in the years when, before the consolidation, before any of that work was done, when the budgets were really, really skimpy. And the equipment budget, for the Freesville then was probably less than what the district fuel budget is right now. And so we were able to pick up grants for gear, we were able to pick up grants for some LDH and some of that other needed equipment. SCBA is the 1 year. We hit the grants, I think, 3 years at least, and did quite well. Post consolidation, Mark Lansavia and I sat down informally and looked over the grant application, and we were like, the biggest thing that we, were able to really capitalize on in the previous grant application was finding out need. And when you look at the different district demographics, it just wasn't there like it was for Freesville as a standalone. And prior to it being under the partnerships. So, but I know there's ways of doing it, because fire districts that are far more affluent than us are nailing these grants. So it's got to be in how they're presented, how they're worded. I see fire departments in town of Colonnade. I'm saying every fire department over there is got tons of money. Some of the ones that do are getting the grants. I see Monroe County fire departments that I know are very affluent, are pulling in money. So I think that and when I talk to all these fire departments that are getting the money, they're all using grant writers. So that's where we are with it. I got the 2. I'm going to look to see if there's any more, but I'm looking to consider sitting down with the 2 of them and putting together something a little more formal. Maybe have them come in and make a presentation or something along those lines to the board. So that's where I am on that. Other recruitment and retention, you got anything, Chief? I'm not aware of any, although we've got some money set aside to do some of that work this year, to work with both the WFT and DFT recruitment. I want to say it right, retention and recruitment committees to do the job that needs to be done. So we look forward to doing some of that. We do have 1 applicant tonight under membership to deal with. I had it there with me. Here it is. Robert E. Squickerini, if I got that right. That's good. Joining WFD as an active member. He's a former member of Fair Harbor, and I have no idea where Fair Harbor is. But he's also a former member of this place called Ellesmere.
It's across the river in a land far, far away.
No harbor.
I'll give Robert 2 thumbs up.
Okay, you give him 2 thumbs up. We won't hold that against him.
Well, I'm hanging by my thumbs right now. That's why. No, he's all right.
All right, he's got pretty good credentials here, it seems. He's been through the process. The fire department has reviewed him and signed off on everything. So, is there a motion to approve Mr. Scrickerini? Motion made. Second. Motion seconded. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Mr. Scrickerini is approved, and we can get him into his physical and other things that need to be done to finalize his processing. Yep. All right. Finally, before we go back to public session, I don't know why I didn't do these earlier. We got building use forms. Got a stack of building use forms here, which is good. The fire department's for fire department, I was thinking Earl on, the Freesville had, I believe, four. I don't remember. Where is it listed?
Four.
Yes.
Chili
Yeah,
cook-off and 2 apartments. for
facilities for
members.
January 13th, that was previously done. The chili cook-off for 3/20. A birthday party for 5:30. And a graduation party for 6/28, both for members family. And then Wine and Skill has got a stack of them. Fundraiser for 3/6. Fish dinners for Lent, 3/13, fish dinners for Lent. $3.20, fish dinners for Lent. We're here, diffusing me, using the old man. All right, we got a takeout barbecue for March 26th for the Gray Ghost Committee. Fundraiser for March 27th for Lent again. Did I say that one already?
Yeah, no.
Oh, all right, there's originals and copies, all right.
Yeah, there's just, it's like
The originals for
5 weeks or 6 weeks.
Okay, I think I got it. Let me make sure I've listed everything. Now, here's another one, 4/11, a birthday party. For Wine and Skill.
That one would just do that as, prove it pending the department. That's the one that can.
Oh, it's pending department.
Yes.
All right, that one's been approved. And another one by the Gray Ghost Committee.
Street the Great Will.
Gray Ghost Committee, oh, there's 2 dates for Gray Ghost Committee that they say, at least 2. April 30th and May 28th. And what was the other one? Go to the March date. March 26th. So there's 3 dates for the Gray Ghost Committee. They're doing barbecue each of them. So we got all those building use forms to approve. Consider a motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve all of them, like read.
As read, which and the ones pending the WFD approval. Second on that motion, seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? That carries. All right.
Just one more point, I mean, just falling back to the apparatus part about one. Yeah, the talos are 27 and 28. So how much lead time, or, we got engaged Bob earlier. I don't know if it's 6 months, 12 months to get one, but we're due to replace one.
We should start, talking about it this summer, just so we
And
can.
which one and that kind of thing.
Yep.
All right, we are going to go make a motion to go into executive session, but and I don't know how long that's going to take, but I'm going to open up the public session one more time for things that we've discussed or anything that anybody wants to bring up. And we'll open it up again after the executive session. But, that way people don't have to stick around all night if they don't want. Anybody have anything they wish to bring under a public session?
Under the low stat program, I know you guys are looking at stuff in the long run, and I kind of discussed it last time at the last meeting. Because there's so many different plans and so many different directions, a lot of guys are confused on their value. Are they in this program or in that program? So I'm hoping that we can eventually, either individually or as a group, come up with roughly or whatever we would anticipate our plan being.
That's
Either it's a payoff or it's a ride to $600 or whatever it may be.
I believe that census that we talked about needing to really go forward with this.
Right, I realize.
Sean, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that census will give us that information.
No decision will be made for.
Right. But I mean,
What is on the census?
it's just for guys to think about now so they don't get all nervous.
The actuarial.
Yeah.
Well, everybody isn't a defined benefit. Except for a handful who are in the enhanced $700 plan, there's only a handful of them. As for where we're going, we don't know yet. There's so much SHIT that I gotta sit through
Oh, yeah.
and try to sort it out, as
I realize
these are the options. And so that's a project that I've been, kind of working on, but I had to get the audit over with first. So,
Because I'll
Yeah.
just use myself for an example. I started collecting 4 years ago. 62, yeah. 6 years ago. 6 years ago.
Wow, you did not age well.
I am kind of listening, but anyways, but like my son who was active years ago, is he still eligible for something, or is there a minimum standard, or, all those questions are gonna be stuff in the future.
so he had a vested, if he was vested,
How long was the vested?
he had to be in for 5 years.
5 years?
So if he was vested, then he does have a dollar value assigned to him. And would probably, I'm just
I'm just
thinking
asking.
loosely, if we go to a defined contribution, you can either take that money out as a lump sum and take it on vacation, or you can throw it in defined contribution.
Okay.
So,
That's
but
what I was
I'm speaking very loosely here.
All right, well, some of the guys had heard numbers and we didn't hear numbers, so guys are wondering, well, what's my number? That type of thing. So I'm just bringing it up. I know you have a lot of work to do.
Yeah. What I probably should do is give the report to the president for each department and highlight the column that the present value is, so that their membership can go to the president. Say, hey, where am I at in this plan?
Good idea.
If the board agrees with that, then I can give them that, why not go there? No.
Yeah, we don't want the president's posting on the wall for everybody to read, but
So-
Kind of confidential.
So I can provide it to the presidents confidentially, and then they can share with the members. Well, of course, it's always a fee, always.
But I think it's important for everybody to realize that when, I think it's important for everybody to realize as this board comes to conclusions as to what we're going to do with regard to the future of LoSAP, is that we are not going to be able to make a decision that is in absolutely everyone's best interest.
No doubt.
Because there's going to be somebody that's going to say, well, that doesn't work for me, or, well, it would have been better if they had done this for me. But I think that what we're going to strive for is to make a decision that's beneficial to the absolutely the maximum number of people that we can do, and not hurt anybody, not go out of our way to hurt anybody. But it'd be irresponsible to sit up here and say that, oh yeah, we're going to make the best decision for everybody out there, because there's probably.
I understand that. My concern that was the idea that you're able to recruit and retain. And that's, that I can see right now is the way the district sits. Most of our guys right now are 60 and up that are actually doing stuff. And to worry about the 20-year-old that may be going to school and have time now before he gets a real career or move on, necessarily may not be the guy that's gonna pick the trucks or, so it's a tough call either way with you guys. And I understand that. But I also know that a lot of guys that are collecting the 600, they assumed it was for life and they'll continue playing. And yeah, they pick up an extra $700 or $1,200 or whatever the program is from that point on, but they are concerned over the $600 number. Is that gonna be there? Or is it gonna run out after 10 years? And that's all questions.
I would have been out there.
Where's this coming from? If you're collecting, he's collecting.
Yeah.
There should be no concern. There
If
should
you
be
pass
no.
away, your wife can get it for.
That's it.
Well, that's different.
Our plan.
But that's what-
Bob, he doesn't be 120, he's getting paid $600, but he's 120.
Right, that's, he doesn't,
No, but that was questions that guys don't know.
I know, we've said it.
But we've told them how many times,
I lost track.
and we've had these meetings where we've answered these questions.
Okay, well,
And-
just being asked again, Rich. don't-
Okay.
Just give me.
It just makes everybody feel better when they actually know.
There
They
is,
don't remember, some do remember.
let's just pause for a second. There is a conundrum where some people who are receiving may not still receive those benefits if they don't have an annuity.
Right. And that's.
So that's where, right. So that group would have an option to take the money and budget in a place in Florida, or they can put it in the defined contribution. And that's.
And I guess everybody wants to know where they sit. Are they in annuity or not? And that's something that.
I don't even know that. I don't have.
That's what we were talking about earlier.
We gotta reach out to
Remain to that
BFIS on
point.
that. Yeah, see, I mean, people shouldn't be talking yet, because all we're doing is exploring options.
Right.
And then we're trying to sift through it, to try to make the best decision for the firefighters and for the residents of the town. And there's a lot of moving parts, so to speculate on, you only get 10 years of benefits, that's
Well, it's a
misleading.
point, and that's all it is, but people understand what is what.
Okay,
I'm not going.
anything else or go to the order? Joe?
Part of this cannot, I thought, blown out of proportion from being people downstairs talking, coming to the meeting. So during the meeting, because I was at the meeting with you guys, I said, this is gonna take a year's process. So by the time the referendum comes, when we vote on the new member up here and we have to go to referendum for this, they might have 8 months of work to do before they figure out what's going on. And I said, in our meeting, rest assured, they will have something, they will put it on the big screen so everybody can see it for another meeting. And let's not get hyper about this, because we really don't know what's going on. And all the jibber jabber talk that's going on is making people have heartburn.
Making them more nervous, because.
Sure.
So everybody's got questions, and I get it, and Dave and myself, we talked about it a little bit. I don't like to talk about it because I only know what you guys are presenting. So to kind of put the fire out at our meeting, I just said, let them do their work. 8 months from now, in the summertime, you might hear something, we'll put it on the big screen so everybody knows what's going on. Don't get heartburn right now about it.
So
And that's what I said at the meeting, so.
that's kind of what we're thinking. Scott, you got a question?
Why was some people collecting not that much money?
Because annuities, how do insurance companies make their money? Off of annuities, they charge huge fees. So we, and BFIS themselves just continue to, Gary, I don't know if you remember, was it 99? I forget.
It was what, when it was started, or when they stopped using annuities?
Stop using annuities.
I think it was like 2016 or 17. I think it was in the teens. I believe it was later than.
Yeah, but anyways, whatever that date is, anybody before that was collecting, anyone after that was not having annuities, so now rule of funds.
Those people not getting. Forever.
Right. Most people might not. That's
So
why
that, I think, was the question getting back to Dave's thought, was a large, 60-plus-year-old guys. Falling.
Absolutely.
Like you want like 4 years, even collecting 4 years of falls. So that is still the question. What exactly you're gonna do? Okay, so that part is important.
Real quick, correct me if I'm wrong, but BFIS sends us individual certificates every year indicating what your value is or how many years of service you have credited. If you have any questions, and I did this before I retired, I called Michelle and I called Bill Diedrich and I said, give me my numbers just so I have them, because I was putting the big picture together, everything right down to the penny. So I called them, they gave me my numbers, I knew where I stood and what I was anticipating to get when I retired based off of what I've already served. So it's pretty easy.
I don't know if that, the annual report, I don't know, has your accumulated net present value of your.
I don't know. Like a few months ago, I actually saw a document that was.
To the president, the individual member.
But this was something the district actually had.
Right, well, we have a list right here, and I know everybody's net present value, that's why I wanted to share with the presidents to, documents to share with.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that annual statement that each firefighter gets, I don't know if it has that.
I don't think it has the dollar.
Right.
Right.
Just
Just
has
years of service.
Yeah.
You can call the agent and find out.
Oh, yeah.
Easy.
That's why there are agents.
Yeah.
But do you want that many people calling down to find out what it is?
No, that's exactly what we don't need. Because we're still in an investigatory stage here. And the last thing that she needs to get bombed with 100 phone calls about, I'm just worried they're gonna screw me on this and I need to know what my value is. No. Yeah, just everybody relax and take a breath.
I think the individual statements are up now on the PFI's website. I'll be printing those out in the present period. And then the board, I think, gives permission to share that census report that gives everybody the present value. Like mine, I mean, it's been a long time since I've been around. I have close to $20,000 sitting there for when I get my low step. So what would happen? Possibly what would happen is that money would be given to me, and I put it in a defined contribution plan. And I invest. Then 62 or 65, I start pulling it out. I'm 27. Man has a right to dream.
You have an eighth, well.
Yes.
Any other questions under public session? We beat that up pretty good. Consider a motion to go to executive session to discuss the employment history of a member. Motion made, or seconded. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. And Chief Wilson, if you would join us, please. All right, the rest of you, will you please excuse us so we can go to executive session?
Yes.
Yes.